Hey, what's up, everybody? Life Without Pants here, and in today's video, we're going to talk about Tujen. I recently did 1,000 Tujen Rerolls. Oh, my poor wrists. It was quite interesting. Now, the goals of this project, and there's going to be like timestamps in the timeline, so check those out if you just interested in a particular thing like the data or the returns or how Tujen windows work. But we're going to talk about our goals for this project. It's kind of like an end of league project, just spamming 1,000 of these. What a typical Tujen window looks like. What is the makeup of it? Like, how does it work? And not like how do you haggle for items, but a little bit deeper than that. What our returns look like. We're going to take a look at that, and the stats. Obviously, we've got to check out the numbers. So let's dive right into it with the goals. So initially I wanted to know what the likelihood of being offered a Divine Orb is from Tujen. I had some big dry streaks when I was doing it, and not recording it, and I think really early on this league, I got offered a Mirror Shard. And I hadn't really done much Tujen before. Obviously in Expedition I did quite a bit, but I hadn't really done much Expedition in total. And so when I got offered a Mirror Shard, I thought, oh wow, this is actually really, really good. That's like 7 Divines or something. It was early league. And so that made me think that maybe I should pay some closer attention to Tujen. And it was in the back of my mind for most of the league. And then now that we've got to the end of the league, I've done 1,000 Danig rerolls before. There's a video on that if you go check my the science playlist. But for Tujen, I really wanted to know, number 1, what is the likelihood of being offered a Divine Orb? Number 2, what's the likelihood of being offered a T1 currency, of which Divine Orbs are one, but also like annuls and exalts? And number 3, how much money do you actually pull out of a Tujen window? Like, what's your estimated profit from a Tujen window? So now, after 1,000 rerolls, we have a better idea of those things. I'm not going to say it's perfect, but it's a better idea than just guessing. So, what does a typical Tujen window look like? Let's have a look. I think this is a new one. No, actually, this is a really good time to talk about what I did not take out, and it's basically this stuff. So, when I was spamming these Tujen rerolls, I've got 1,000 left now. I would not take out Orbs of Transmutation. I wouldn't take Armorer's Scraps. I wouldn't take Blacksmith Whetstones either. I wouldn't take out these jewels. These can be incredibly good. Like this 97 accuracy, added fire and lightning with bow attacks. This is a really, really good jewel for a like an Omni stacker. This is really, really fantastic. And I took none of these. I think I actually took one, but it was just because I wanted it for my build. So I didn't take these. These are very, very strong a lot of the time. These just quality gems. I also didn't take these either. I didn't find them. They're basically, you need to think of them as sort of fractions of a gem cutter's prism, because that's kind of what they are. And these oils, 10 clear oils for 32 exceptional Black Scythe artifacts, not really worth it in my mind. I think we did. Of all the 1,000 rerolls, we took oils 4 times. So, and basically it was like, is it Crimson or above? In 1,000 rerolls, we were offered 4 sets of oils, which were, the only ones we got were black oils and crimson oils. So, yeah, quality gems, didn't take those. So let's look at what a actual, a fresh Tujen window looks like. So, this, we got an annul. Nice. Man, this would be something I would write down normally. So, the way Tujen works is you have these exceptional artifacts, grand, greater, and lesser. And the game will roll a dice, a 4-sided dice, and add, is it 11 to it, I think? Well, it always offers, it adds 12, sorry. So it rolls a 4-sided dice and adds 12. And that determines the number of items you are offered in this window. So this is 11 tall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we got 11, 12, 13. So it rolled a 4-sided dice and added, it got 1 I know, got a 1 and added 12 to it. So you will always get 13, 14, 15, or 16 items in this. Never more, never less. And then it will roll another couple of dice. I haven't figured out exactly what they are. I've started recording some stats. I think around reroll 300, I started writing down, making a sample set of data around exactly how it actually, trying to figure out how it actually generates the quantity of items and how they relate to these artifacts in this window. As yet inconclusive, but there's some clear patterns that I can see though. So it also rolls some more dice and it figures out how many exceptional artifact costing rewards am I going to make, how many grand, and then I think, because these are like, I think grand I've had up to 4. I think, let me just check my notes here. Grand I had, maximum of 4, and exceptional maximum of 2. So it can roll 0, 1, or 2 exceptional rewards. It can roll 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4 grand rewards. And then the rest of it makes up with greater and lesser. And the bottleneck is 100% these greater ones. You can see I've got 322 of these. I got 6,000 exceptional artifacts. But these greater ones, these are absolutely the bottleneck. So if you find yourself running out of any artifact, it's going to be the greater ones. I'm very, very sure of it. And I think the reason for that is when you have these rewards, so these first two, these will be lesser. So it starts off with these, it goes up. So this costs 26 lesser, this costs 52, this one costs 56, this one costs 140, this one's 148, 155. And then it starts off with the greater one. So it's 20 greater, 34, 37, 106. And then it goes into the grand ones, so 60, and then 165, and then these are exceptional. So it will have these increasing in cost, like if you go up the list like this. And the stuff you get, the rewards you get for lesser Black Scythe artifacts, they have a certain cap of, on their value in the game. And like two Chaos Orbs is pretty standard for the lesser stuff. Like five alterations, very, very, very common. But the grand artifacts, there can be some really, really good things in the grand artifacts, but they can cost a lot of money. So, for example, I think yesterday, towards the end, I didn't really have enough of these, and I had to run some extra logbooks because sometimes you get offered a Forge of the Phoenix map or a Shaper Guardian map, and it would cost 1,600 greater artifacts, and that's a lot. And obviously you haggle it down and you probably get around 900 or something like that, but still it's as much as an entire window worth of other greater artifact rewards. So it's you won't get lesser Black Scythe artifact rewards that are really, really high like that. You'll get them in the 200, 300s, 400s sometimes as well, but you'll never get 1,500 for a reward. So I think that's largely why the greater Black Scythe artifacts are a bit of a bottleneck. The rewards, the high tier rewards for greater Black Scythe artifacts can cost a lot of money, but they're definitely something you probably want to get. So I think that's why this is the bottleneck. And almost everything in the window is worth it, I would say, with the exception of the armor, blacksmith whetstones or armorer's scraps with the orbs of transmutation. I mean, this is a stack of 10 orbs of transmutation. This is 0.2 chaos. It's probably not really worth it. I think there's no orgs here, which is quite an outlier. We got a lot of orbs of augmentation, but these items, they're generally all worth it. There was one big outlier in 100% not worth, which was Harbinger Orbs. And the game seems to value them at an order of magnitude more than what they're actually worth. And I say this from a trade perspective. So obviously in SSF, if you want to get a lot of Harbingers, then beachheads are a really good way to do that. And it's I don't know, it costs so much more. Like, it costs 10 times more than I think it's worth. You would frequently, for, you know, 500-600 greater artifacts, you would get 4 Harbinger shards, and they're just not that good. They're really not. I think the full orb goes for 2C. Yeah, I'm not sure why that one is so far out of line with the pricing of all the other stuff. All the other stuff seems pretty, you know, reasonable as far as trade goes, but that one thing really stuck out. So that's kind of how this works. I'm gonna leave this, and now let's talk about our returns. So this stack now no longer 1,000. I think I've got some more in here actually. Yeah, there we go. So this stack of 1,000, this cost us. I already had these stacked up, but these would cost around 9C per coin, I think. So yeah, 8.8. So say 9C. So you're looking at 29 to a divine, which is 34.5 divines for a stack of 1,000. That's how much you'll probably pay for this. We made, in total, I got the excellence data over here, we made 29, I'm just going to say 29,000 C. There's a bunch of stuff that's not included in here, but this is 106 divines, 106.5. So you're basically making 72 divines profit for the entire set. And that works out at, I mean, it's 29,000 chaos, so it's around 29 chaos per window in returns, and that means, as if it's 9C per coin, you're making around 20 chaos per Tujen window, which is really good. I didn't think it would be anywhere near as good as that. There's been so many times when I've sold exotic coins and I've had lots and lots of artifacts. Obviously the artifacts are the thing that, you know, the bottleneck, because you can't trade for those unless you have a lot of Danic currency, in which case you definitely should. But it's really difficult to get all those artifacts. Obviously, you're going to run a lot of logbooks. You're going to do expeditions in maps. I was doing a bunch of expedition science earlier on this league, and it got to the point where I had 50,000 greater, I think, or maybe lesser Tujen artifacts. So I thought, you know what? I've got to get rid of these somehow. There's definitely a science project in here. So for the returns, let's have a look. Bring up the stats here. So we got a bunch of divines. We got 28 divines. Now let's talk about the T0 currencies, or T1 currencies, for a second. So I noted down every time I got offered a T1 currency. I also noted down every time I got a Prime Chaotic Resonator as well. I don't think that was necessary, but the very first time we got offered T1 currency, it was a stack of 5 divines, 14 rolls in. So at roll 986, we got a stack of 5 offered to us. So I think that it's averaged out a lot over the course, but this it certainly set my expectations a lot higher than they perhaps should have been. In total, we got 24 stacks of divines offered to us. One of those was 5, so obviously we got 28 total divines, but we got 24 stack offerings of divines. We got 11 annuls offered to us in total in stacks, and we got 10 exalts offered to us. So, and you know, you can just divide these all by 1,000 to make an easy percentage. So it's a 2.4% chance to get a divine per window. It's around 1.1% chance to get an annul, and this is from our data set. This is not, you know, prescriptive, and 1% chance to get an exalt, and that brings it around 4.5% chance per window to get offered a T1 currency, which is pretty good. It's pretty nice. I think from this data set, you can see here we got obviously lots of money in divines, and then an insane amount in stacked decks. We got 1,849 stacked decks. that's going to be fun opening those. I think we're going to do a 10,000 stack deck opening, probably towards the end of the league. I got almost 2,000 chaos, which is nutty. Lots of money in scours. That's I think, but the standout for me was the orbs of augmentation. we got like almost around 3 divines in orgs, and I mean, when you have 10,940 of something, usually it's worth a little bit. The number of augmentations though was crazy. We got orbs of fusing in here. We got ancient orbs, etc., etc. So these are the standout ones for me. I can show you what it looks like as well. So this stack decks, chaos, and then we got our sextants, alks. We got so many alts, and then look at all these augmentations. It's ridiculous. It keeps going as well. Then we got jewelers, fusings, lots and lots and lots and lots of stuff. And then a lot of screaming essences. Really quite a lot of screaming essences. A very decent amount of fossils. And quite a few catalysts. And not even just trash catalysts, but fertile catalysts. Which I think these are worth like 5C. And these tempering catalysts, these are worth 1C. But there were some that were worth... is it these ones? Prismatic catalysts, yeah. So we got a lot of prismatic catalysts, and they're worth 12C each. So I think it's like 40 of those. Pretty good. We got quite a few Val Temple maps as well. Conqueror maps, Shaper Guardian, Elder Guardian. We got 3 synthesis maps. I took out incubators that were, I would actually run. So Ornate incubators, Diviners incubators, and Kalguran ones, and Skittering ones, I think, as well. We got it for 2 empowers, which was nice. This one comes with quality, so I'm not sure if the game rolled for like a valuable gem and got an empower, or it rolled for a quality gem and got an empower. With this, it's indeterminate. We've got 44 ancient orbs, lots of these through fragments. We had 15 and almost 16 exalts in total. Again, we only got offered 10 in total, so 5 and 17 shards came in only shards. We got 19 and a quarter annuls, and again, so 8 annuls came in shards. A really decent amount of rogue markers. This is offered quite frequently for grand rewards, like a stack of 1,000. I think it's almost always worth it. Ritual vessels, these all came from splinters. We were never offered a vessel, we were only ever offered splinters. So we got 12 vessels from splinters alone, 5 prime chaotic resonators. These are the only splinters I actually bothered picking up from the Legion stuff. It's the Marrakech splinter, because Marrakech emblems are like 60-ish. I think it's 60, nice. 68, so close. 68 for a emblem. We got a couple of mortal fragments, and then these breach stones, and these all come in splinters as well. So we got offered splinters quite frequently, and I only ever really took them if they were sort of offered in. Honestly, I would never take them if they were offered in grand artifacts. I would only take if it was Chayula that was offered in grand artifacts, then I'd take that. But if it was these ones, then I wouldn't. I would take them if they're offered in in greater artifacts rather. I take them if they're offered in grand, because grand's not a bottleneck, and I take them if they're offered in less artifacts, because less is not a bottleneck either. 2120 gems. We got loads. We got 11, and some of them are worth some money. I think Creeping Frost is like 200C, almost a divine. Arc 90C. So 2120 gems. Not only do you get offered them every so often, I get around 1% chance, but they're pretty good as well. I think they were always worth it every single time. I got some 21 gems with no quality. This is, I think, around, I'm going to say around 20 to 30% of the 21 gems that we were offered. I would always price check them, because lots of them were just 21 gems that either aren't good or are bad without quality. So yeah, here's the oils we got. So we just got offered this. So four sets of oils were offered to us, and it was 3 sets of black oils and 1 set of crimson oils. As far as contracts went, and these are not included in the breakdown. So if we do, condemn. So there's no contracts here in our data. So this is actually just free money. But I would largely, I think I only took deception contracts or deception contracts. I think there's one perception one in there because I'm going to run that for heist science we have later on. We're almost ready with that. But I would take either deception or priceless. And that was basically, and the perception ones are because I want to run those. We've got some blueprints. I always take the blueprints, even if, we've got a couple of unusual gems ones, but there's trinkets and replicas and stuff in there as well. So that's as you'd expect. I don't think those are included either in excellence. No. So there's a little bit extra free money. But yeah, overall this is what we got. And I think, would I do it again? No. Would I do it again over the course of a league? Oh yeah. I would definitely, I'm definitely going to lean on Tujen more heavily for just like bubblegum currency creation. Like Blessed Orbs are really, really good to have. Orbs of Horizons are really good. Orbs of Horizons I felt were a bit of a rip-off from Tujen. I think they were frequently valued too high. As far as scarabs go, because now all scarabs have value because of growing hordes, I took largely gilded ones and polished ones where it made sense. So the things that I want to run, like cartography scarabs because I really like map sustain, legion scarabs just because I was thinking about doing a legion thing at the beginning of it. I'm not thinking of that anymore. And stuff that, like expedition scarabs or div card scarabs. So those are, ones that are actually valuable. As far as the fossils go, most of the time it's worth it, but if you're offered like dense fossils for exceptional artifacts, it's probably not worth it. Use your best judgment. But anyway, we got, was it 72 Harbinger Orbs? And these are like 2C each or something. This was not worth it. These were not, almost never were these worth buying. Almost never. Very upsetting. Anyway, that's it from me. If you enjoy this kind of content, then please, subscribe. I'm looking forward to seeing you. Come join us in the Twitch channel. And I hope you're kind to everyone you meet. I love it all very much. And I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.